All right, let's come down onto our back into a constructive rest position if that feels like a nice position for your body. But really, any reclined position, legs could be long. You could come into Supta Baddha Konasana or reclined butterfly if that feels like a better way to go. If you think that your hips might appreciate that first things to start off. But whatever position you're in, give your body a few seconds to just kind of find that nice comfort, snuggle the shoulders, tailbone feels good. And then just take a moment to breathe. Nothing fancy. You don't even have to control the breath, but just allow your body a moment or two to just be here, to just breathe. And then as your body starts to settle in and quiet down, notice if there's any readjusting that you can make to be even 10% more comfortable. And if there is, go ahead and take the time to make those adjustments. And then give your body a second to settle back in. Let your arms be heavy, let your feet be soft. And then can you start to pay attention to the floor beneath you, just feeling the solidness of the floor behind your back, the floor under your head, the floor under your feet, and the floor under your arms. And then in opposition to that nice solidness of the floor, get a sense of the air above you. Take a breath and notice that freedom to move within that space. Maybe even give your fingers a little wiggle or give your toes a little wiggle. So underneath your toes, you might really be able to feel the nice opposition, the solidness of the floor, but the freedom on the tops of your feet. And then offer up a little bit of gratitude for this safe space that you have to work in, the floor beneath you, the ceiling above you, and the walls around you. And then before we move or engage the body, take a moment here to set an intention to honor your mind and your body throughout your practice, never doing anything in your practice that would cause your body pain, and treating yourself with love, care, and respect. Nice. And then with that intention set, we're just going to wake up our right hand. So give your right fingers a little wiggle. Bring a little bit of gentle movement into your right wrist. Everything else is going to stay pretty heavy on the ground. Maybe bring just a little bit of movement into your right elbow. And then we're going to take our right hand and see if we can locate the right side of our rib cage and just spread your fingers nice and wide and really spread your hand around on that right rib cage. And then settle in for a moment, let your shoulders soften back down. Take a nice deep breath and just really pay attention to the breath in the right side of your ribs. Take a nice deep breath in. Feel that movement in the side of your ribs. Nice slow breath out. One more breath here. Awesome. And then release your right hand. Just let it rest comfortably back out where it was. And then come over to your left hand and just give your left fingers a little wiggle. Maybe some gentle movement in your left wrist. Maybe some gentle movement in your left elbow. Just give the whole arm a good little wiggle around, and then bring your left hand to your left rib. So we're going to spread the hand nice and wide, really grab around the ribs, spread your fingers, get some space covered on those ribs, and then come back to your breath. Take a nice deep breath in and a nice slow breath out, and just feel that nice gentle movement of the ribs underneath your hand. Take one more breath here. Awesome. And then bring your left hand back out at your side or wherever it was started. And then we're just going to rearrange the shoulder blades, rearrange the tailbone, make sure everything's still feeling good. We're going to take a few more minutes to relax those hip flexors. So let your legs still be just kind of heavy and soft. And now just take your arms like you're making a snow angel. So we're going to inhale and just reach the arms up and overhead, up alongside the ears. And then as you exhale, just bring those hands right down alongside your hips. Inhale and reach your arms up alongside your head. And then exhale, bring your hands down alongside your hips. One more time like that. Inhale, reach your arms up and overhead. And then exhale, bring the hands down alongside the hips. Nice. And then from here, bring your arms into a comfortable position. We're going to start to windshield wiper the knees. So start to gently drop the knees from side to side, moving at a pace that feels good in your body, and allowing for a little time to let the knees drop deeper and deeper towards the floor. So it doesn't have to be a big movement to start, and then you slowly start to increase that range of motion. Nice. Take one more time side to side here, and then we're going to bring our arms into our I Dream of Jeannie arms, or those nice little square arms across the chest. And then once you've got your arms arranged, start to add their movement into the mix. So maybe take them in the opposite direction of the knees. So elbows go across the midline of the body, and then the knees go in the opposite direction. And then if you like, add your head as well. So your head can turn in the opposite direction of your arms or in the opposite direction of your knees, whichever feels like a comfortable way to go. Cool. Take one more time each side. And then let everything come to center. Relax your arms down, walk your feet in a little bit closer to your bum as if we're setting up for a bridge posture, and then move right into pelvic tilt. As you exhale, press your low back into the earth, tailbone curls up just a little bit. Inhale, relax your tailbone down and find the natural curve of your back. Exhale, press your low back into the ground. Inhale to release. Exhale to press. Inhale to release. Two more just like that. Nice. And then find a more neutral spine. Pick the right knee up and then the left knee to meet. So both knees are going to come, but a little bit natural at the chest. So we're not going to hold on to them and we're not going to hug or squeeze, but we're just going to start to move a little bit as if you're trying to draw little figure eights with your knees. So little tiny gentle circular motions. And it's just going to kind of crawl your bum down closer towards the end of your mat. So it's just going to make a little space. So find that little bit of a figure eight pattern. Just mush those knees around a little bit. Awesome. Find that little bit of space in the low back. Take one more little walk around of those knees. And then we're going to set the left foot down and right leg is going to come across the left into a figure four configuration. Hands are going to stay on the ground. Inhale, lift the left knee up. And exhale, lower right back down. Be super mindful, super gentle. Inhale, lift the left leg up. Notice your hip and your bum. Exhale, lower down. You might even feel a little bit of a pull in the IT band. One more just like that. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, lower down. Cool. And now this next one, we're going to lift up, but maybe not as high, and then start to find a little bit of a wobble side to side. So hands free, and we're just rocking those knees gently side to side. Be super mindful. Make sure that your knee feels safe and your hip feels good. Cool. And then take one more little wobble side to side. And then we're going to slide that right leg across the left, like you're crossing your legs in a chair, and then gently pull the knees in towards your chest. Take one good breath and then release. Unwind your legs, set them down, and notice how they feel. Awesome. And now we're going to take the left leg across the right. Hands free. We're going to inhale, lift the right leg up. Exhale, lower it right back down. Inhale, lifting up. Exhale, lower right back down. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, lower down, readjust if you need to. And then we're going to lift up, hands free, and wobble it a little bit side to side. And really, any movement here that feels good, just make sure that your knee feels safe and your hip feels comfortable. Beautiful. One more little wobble here. And then we're going to slide that left leg across the right, like you're crossing your legs in a chair, and then gently draw them in. Take a nice big breath. Beautiful. And then release, unwind, set your feet down on the ground. Feet are going to be about hip width distance apart, heels nice and close to the butt. And now we're going to take it into some rolling bridges. As you inhale, curl your tailbone up, lift up nice and high. And then right away, exhale, lower down, roll through the spine. And once you're all the way down, pull your knees up to your chest, give yourself a little squeeze. And then release your feet down, hands alongside the hips. Inhale, lift your hips up, but curl the tailbone up, roll through the spine. And then exhale, roll down through your spine. Once your hips hit the ground, pull the knees up into your chest and give yourself a little squeeze. Nice. One more just like that. Feet down, hands on the ground. Inhale, curl your tailbone up, roll up into a little bridge. Exhale, roll down through your spine. Once you're all the way down, pull your knees into your chest, give yourself a little squeeze. We're going to stay here, rock a little bit side to side. Nice. And then we're going to start to draw our knees in circles. So let your tailbone get heavy again and start to draw your knees out and away from each other. Like you're taking a butterfly shape, you're going to draw the knees out, push them up towards the ceiling as they come together, and then hug them into the chest, and take a couple times in this direction. Nice. Take one more time around. And then we'll go the other direction. So knees are going to push up towards the ceiling, out away from each other, and then in towards the chest. Beautiful. Take one more time around here. And then we're going to bring the knees together, hold on to the kneecaps or the tops of the shins, whichever feels like a better way to grab. But we're going to get our arms nice and stabilized, nice and strong. Think about taking the elbows a little bit wide, and then push your shins into your hands as your hands resist. So your arms are going to work and your legs are going to work. And you might feel a little bit of engagement in the muscles in the backside of your body, a little engagement in your quads. Hopefully a lot of engagement in the arms, so they're holding on tight. Take a nice big inhale. And then as you exhale, let all of that go, draw the knees in, soften everything. Beautiful. And then we're going to do that again. Push your knees up towards the ceiling so your shins are pushing into your hands, arms are resistant. So arms are engaged, legs are engaged, back is engaged. Feel a little bit of engagement in the belly muscles. Take a big inhale. And then as you exhale, bring everything in and soften. Beautiful. One more just like that. Push your knees into your hands, but see if you can find an even press. So if it feels like one leg is working a little harder or one arm is working a little harder, find a balance here. Both legs working hard, both arms working hard. Feel an evenness in the backside of your body. Take a big inhale. And then as you exhale, pull everything in and let it soften. Cool. Now hold on to your right knee, send your left leg nice and long. Let the left heel anchor onto the floor, flex your left foot, and then extend your left arm up and overhead, reaching up alongside your ear. Take a nice big breath in. Slow breath out. Beautiful. Slide that left leg in, hold on to the left knee, let your right leg go, send it nice and long down to the end of your mat. So we anchor into that right leg, flex the foot. And then once you feel like you found all that, reach your right arm up alongside your ear and take a nice big breath. Beautiful. And then pull the right knee back into the chest. So both knees into the chest. We're going to switch grips. So grab hold of the backs of the thighs and then start to find a little rock and roll. Rock and roll up to a seated ragdoll position. Legs long out in front of you. All right, and we're going to take it right into a seated ragdoll. So with your feet about hip or shoulder width distance apart, think about pulling the belly up and over and then laying the belly across the thighs, reach down, catch hold of your toes, and then let everything go here. Let your head be nice and heavy. And while your head is nice and heavy here, take a second to just make a couple little figure eights with your nose. So just kind of shaking out the back of the neck, moving gently in the cervical spine, soften your jaw. And as you move your head gently side to side, can you feel that little bit of movement down the back side of your body? Take one more nod of the head side to side, and then slowly start to bring everything up and in. We're going to swing the legs out to one side. So think of a little zigzag seat or your deer seat. Get yourself all situated. Then once you found your way there, just walk forward just a little bit, just to the point where you feel a little sensation in the outside of the hip, and then pause. And then once you found it, pull up and over with the belly, walk your arms just a little bit longer, find a little bit of length and space through the front of the body. Take a nice deep breath in. Nice slow breath out. Cool, and then come up nice and slow and mindful. Now the leg that's in front, that arm is gonna reach up. We're gonna just take a little gentle side bend, leaning over and away from that leg. Beautiful, lift up, and then we're gonna swing the legs over to the other side. So just take a second to swing them around, get yourself all sorts of arranged, make sure knees feel good, hips feel happy. And then once you've got yourself in a position, walk yourself forward just a little bit, find a little sensation in the outside of that hip, and then pause. Lift up through the front of the body, lengthen out, and then walk your hands forward one more big step. And then once you've got yourself there, take a nice deep breath in. Nice slow breath out. Beautiful. And then when you're ready, nice and easy, walk it back up and in. We're going to take the leg that's in front, that arm's going to reach up and over, take a nice gentle side bend. Beautiful. And then lift it up and find your way into a tabletop position. So swing your legs around so you can come onto all fours, and then give yourself a second to get situated in your tabletop position. Spread your fingers nice and wide, relax your toes. Think about broadening your shoulders, pull your belly up, get nice and strong in your center for a second here. And then gaze down between your thumbs, nice long neck, take a big conscious breath. Beautiful. Move right into a cat and cow. Inhale, drop your belly, lift your chest, lift your tail. Exhale, round your back. Inhale, drop the belly, lift the chest, lift the tail. Exhale, we round and look toward your belly button. Keep that breath going and just move with your breath's rhythm. Move at a pace and a depth that feels good in your body. Nice. Take one more cycle of breath just like this, and then we're going to add on to our cat and cow. So as we inhale, drop the belly, curl the toes under. We're going to keep the belly down and then just nod your head up and down 3 times. Cool. And then after you've lifted your head up that 3rd time, release your toes, pull the belly button up, round back, pull your bum back to your heels, take a little stretcheroo, shake out your bum, and then come right back up, curl the toes under, drop the belly, lift the chest, 3 nods of the head up and down. Awesome. And then the next time the head comes up, pull the belly button up, release the toes, pull your bum back to your heels. Maybe rock your hips a little side to side, make a little space for yourself, take a nice big breath. Beautiful. One more time like that. Come forward, curl the toes under, drop the belly, lift the chest, keep the belly down, and then nod the head up and down 3 times. Beautiful. And then the head comes up, we release the toes, pull the belly button up, pull the bum back to the heels. Get comfortable here, settle in, make a little wiggle of the hips, and then let everything soften for a minute. Let your belly soften down, let your forehead soften down, and let your arms be soft. Take one more breath. Beautiful. And then come forward and we're going to take it right into a puppy pose. So knees in line with the hips, walk your hands towards the top edge of your mat, reach long, and then let the chest and the forehead melt down. So find that nice big stretch through the upper back body, armpit, chest, whatever the case may be for you. Soften your forehead down, relax your jaw, and take 3 nice deep breaths. Beautiful. When you're ready, nice and easy, start to walk it back into a tabletop position. We're going to firm up our table, curl the toes under, get a little strength in our center. So we're going to find a hovering table, pull the knees up away from the floor, just about 2 inches, not too high, but we want to feel this nice engagement in our center, a broadness in our back, strength through the whole front of the body, a good steadiness of the breath here. Take 2 more breaths. Beautiful. Relax those knees back down. Bring the big toes together. Walk your knees even wider to the outer edges of your mat. Pull your butt back to your heels. Find that extended child's pose. Stay for 1 good breath. And then from here, we're going to thread the needle. So we're going to lift up slightly, thread the right hand through and underneath the left. Your right shoulder going to come down towards the earth. And then you're just going to send your sits bones back toward your heels just as far as they like. And take a couple nice deep breaths. Notice the breath between your shoulder blades if you can. One more breath. Awesome. And then slowly unwind, reach your right hand forward, lift the left hand up, thread it through and underneath. So left ear, left shoulder to the ground, hips back to the heels, finding your breath again. So see if you can sense the breath in between your shoulder blades. One more breath. Beautiful. And then start to unwind, come back up into a tabletop position. So we're going to walk the knees in and then find ourselves in a crooked table. So left elbow and left forearm are going to come down onto the ground in a nice little downward position, but the right arm is going to stay long. So we're going to have a little bit of a crooked tabletop. So the right shoulder is a little higher than the left. Now we're going to pick the right leg up, lift the knee nice and high up towards the ceiling, let the foot come behind you. And hopefully as that knee gets heavier and heavier, hopefully you'll find a little bit of sensation through the front of your right hip. Good. And then if it feels good, circle your right foot in one direction. Nice. And then circle your right foot in the other direction. Beautiful. Nice and easy. Release that knee back down. And then we'll rearrange our table so it's crooked in the other direction. So right elbow, right forearm are going to come down. We're going to anchor into that left hand. Pick that left knee up. Lift it nice and high. Let the foot fall back. And then hopefully you'll find a little sensation through the front of the left hip. And then if it feels good, circle that left foot in one direction. Beautiful. And then circle that foot the other way. Nice. And then when you're ready, relax that leg down, come back into your tabletop position. We're going to curl both sets of toes under. Push your bum back to your heels. Just go as far as feels good. Everybody's sensation at the bottom of the feet is a little bit different. So only go as far back as feels comfortable and a sensation that you can stand. See if you can just wiggle those toes around just a little bit to spread them out, make a little bit more space for them. And then if it feels really good, give your bum a little wiggle. Hips drop side to side. Nice. Beautiful. Take one more little wiggle each side and then come right back up into that table. Keep the toes curled under. Exhale up to a downward facing dog and take a couple gentle pedals of the legs. Bend one knee and press into the opposite heel. Nice. One more pedal each leg and then look forward. Walk, step, or hop your feet up to a ragdoll fold at the top of your mat. So feet are going to be about hip or shoulder width distance apart. Rearrange your clothes as needed, and then just let everything hang heavy here. So we've got space for the belly, space for the chest. Maybe it feels good to grab your elbows and let gravity do a little work for you, or maybe it feels good to let your arms swing and hang heavy. So you find the option that feels the nicest to you right now. And then if you can, take your awareness back to your breath. Nice big breath in. Feel that nice buoyancy of the breath in the upper back body. And a nice letting go with your exhale. Take one more breath. And then when you're ready, relax your fingers towards the ground. Bend your knees a lot. Pull your belly button in. Roll up nice and slow and controlled. Nice and strong from your navel center. Take your time. And then as you come up, take a couple of big, good shrugs of the shoulders. Really pull them up to the ears. Roll them around, down, and back, and mush through that space in your shoulder blades. So really ring them around a couple of times. Beautiful. One more time in this direction, and then we're going to go the other way. Nice. One more time around in this direction. And then we're going to raise our right hand up and then see if you can reach back, find that space between your shoulders, and just give yourself a nice little gentle pat on the back. And now we're going to take the other hand and see if we can catch hold of that top elbow. And then just bring it in a little bit closer. We want to watch. We want to make sure that nothing's rounding or hunching forward. We only want to go as far as our body safely goes naturally. And then if you can find it, pull your ribs in towards each other. Think about pulling the hip bones in towards each other. So think about those two front hip bones. They want to draw in. Everything is going to stay nice and tight at the center. Take one more breath here. Beautiful. And then let go of that elbow, float the arms down, roll the shoulders down and back, and we're going to take it to the other side. So the other hand's going to reach up, pat yourself on the back. See if you can reach up and catch hold of that elbow to bring it in a little bit closer. Make some space for yourself. So feel free to wiggle everything around. And then once you feel like you're in a good position with the shoulders, pull the hip bones in towards each other, ribs in towards each other, get just a little bit taller here, and come back to your breath. Beautiful. Gently release that elbow, float your arms down, roll the shoulders around, down and back, and then find your way to the top of your mat and find your mountain pose. Feet about hip or shoulder distance apart. Anchor into your feet, press firm down into the earth, and then reach up through the crown of your head and soften your shoulders down. Inhale, arms up, look up. Exhale, bring your hands right through heart center, hands down at your sides, just connecting breath and movement. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, hands to heart center, hands down at your sides. One more time, just like that. Inhale, arms up, look up. Exhale, hands to heart center, hands down at your sides. Beautiful. Now we're going to go a little further. Inhale, arms up, look up. Exhale, bend your knees, hinge at your waist, fold all the way down. Inhale to a half forward fold, hands glide to the shins. We bring length into the spine. Beautiful. Keep all that length. Bend your knees, push into your feet. Inhale, arms up. Hands to heart center, hands down at your sides. Inhale, arms up, look up. Exhale, bend your knees and fold. Inhale to that half forward fold, hands glide to the shins. Keep all of that length, bend your knees, push into your feet. Inhale, arms up. Hands to heart center, hands down at your sides. One more time, just like that. Inhale, arms up, look up. Exhale, bend your knees and fold. Inhale to a half forward fold. Now stay in that half forward fold. Walk your hands up right to the tops of your thighs where that hip crease is, and then press your palms into the tops of your thighs and then lengthen out just a bit longer through the crown of your head. And feel that nice lengthening through the front side of the body and the back side of the body. And then with your gaze down at the floor, look at your feet, spread your toes as wide as you can, lift your insteps. Feel a little bit of brightening up in the inner thighs, and then keep all of that brightness, all of that length, lengthen up through the crown of your head. Release your hands, reach up and overhead. Hands to heart center, interlace your fingers here. Press the palms forward, make a little space for your shoulders. and then press them out just a little bit further so you feel sensation in the palms and the fingers, maybe even the wrists. Close your eyes down, take a nice deep breath. Awesome. And then if you like, if it feels good, bring the arms up and overhead, make space for the shoulders and the shoulder blades. And then once you feel like you've found some space, press the palms up, ribs hug in, hip bones hug in towards each other so your center is nice and firm. Take one more good breath. Beautiful. And then unlace your fingers, wriggle them all the way down, and give everything a nice little soft shake out. Shake out your bum, shake out anything that you might have come across that you're holding a lot of tension in. And then we're going to take a light balance. So think about just shifting your weight over to your left foot, pick your right knee barely up off the ground. Just notice your balance right here. Set that foot down, shift your weight over to the other foot, gently pick up your left knee. Doesn't have to be too high, nothing fancy. We just want to see where our balance is at right at this moment. And then set that foot down. Nice. Give everything a nice little mush around and come back to your mountain pose. Anchor into your feet, lift up through the top of your head. Inhale, arms up, look up. Exhale and fold down. Bend the knees or keep them straight. That's totally up to you. Inhale to a half forward fold. Exhale to soften down, step both feet back to a down dog. Nice. Pick up your heels, lower your knees, come into a tabletop position and right to child's pose or extended child's pose, whichever variation you like best. So either big toes together, knees nice and wide, or big toes together, knees hugged close to each other, and then send your sits bones back to your heels. Give your body a minute to settle in. Take one more breath here. When you're ready, nice and slow, we're going to start to walk our hands up and in, but keep with that position. So if your knees are hugged in nice and close together, maybe just walk them out just a little bit wider. Sit back on your heels, find a nice tall position. We're going to take 3 lions breath here. Oh, but I should say it is 8:30. So if you have to get on with the rest of your day, if you only had 30 minutes, I hope the rest of your day is awesome. But if you're sticking around, you're going to take your lion's paws, you're going to rotate them around. So fingertips are going to face inward just as much as your body will allow. And then we're going to find a little bit of a stretch through the wrists and the fingers and the palms. And then think about pulling the shoulder blades together, shining the heart forward just a little bit. I don't usually say shining the heart forward, but in this case, it really is exactly that. Just a little bit of lift of the chest, opening through the front of the throat, and then 3 lions breath here. So we're going to take a big inhale. And as you exhale, you'll stick out your tongue, you'll look to your third eye, and you'll make a little noise. So take a nice big inhale and exhale, let it go. Big inhale. Exhale, let it go. One more big inhale. Exhale, let it go. Awesome. And then release your wrist, walk yourself forward, release your bum away from your heels, walk your knees in, find your tabletop position. And then we're going to just take our table in a couple of circles. Go in one direction just to mush those wrists around. Beautiful. And then take your table and go in the other direction. Nice. And then let your table come to stillness. We're going to step the right foot forward. So we're going to find a 90-90 lunge. So step that foot forward and then just get yourself arranged. So we want to kind of find that 90-90 position so that our hips are nice and squared up, legs are nice and sturdy on the ground. And then bring your hands to your hip joints. And if it feels like that right hip is slightly forward or cocked up, can you pull it down, pull it back, square it up, and then think about anchoring into your feet. So imagine that you're pulling that front foot towards the back knee and the back knee towards the front foot. So you feel the fire in your legs. And then once you feel like you found it, raise your arms up alongside your ears, find a little bit of a lift in the chest, a little bit of lift in the ribs, look up towards the sky, take a nice big breath. Beautiful. Right hand's going to come down to the hip. We're going to take a little side bend, lean over to the right, reach through the left fingertips. Awesome. If you can, bring your awareness to those left ribs. Take a nice big breath into that space. Beautiful. And then lift back up and we're going to rotate to the right. So left hand is going to come to the right knee. Find a little bit of a rotation. Think about getting a little bit taller. You can anchor or wedge against that front knee as long as that front knee is nice and strong. Take one good breath. Beautiful. And then unwind. Hands to the ground. We're going to step that front foot back. Take a second in your tabletop, bop your hips a little bit side to side just to kind of shake it all out. And then we're going to take it to the other side. So left foot's going to step forward, rearrange yourself as needed to find that 90-90 lunge. And then bring your hands to your hips. Pull that left hip back. Make sure everything feels like it's nice and squared up. And then find that sensation of that front heel pulling towards the back knee drawing towards the front heel. So everything is engaged and strong. Once you feel like you found that nice sturdy sensation in the legs, arms reach up and overhead, a light lift of the ribs, look up towards the sky, take a nice big breath. Cool, now keep those legs nice and strong. Left hand comes down to the hip, reach up through the right fingertips, lean over to the left. Beautiful, and then can you find sensation again in the right side ribs? So notice where the right ribs are. Take a big breath into that space. Beautiful, and then lift up and we rotate. So that right hand's gonna come to the left knee. Think about wedging against that knee or leveraging against that knee to get a little bit more turn in your twist. Think about getting tall here. One more breath. Beautiful. And then unwind, hands to the ground. Step that front foot back into your tabletop position. Give those hips a little bop side to side. Make sure everything feels kind of soothed out. And then hands to the ground, curl your toes under. Exhale and find your way up to a downward dog position. Beautiful. Now we're going to shift forward into a plank. So we're just going to start to push our weight forward, bringing the shoulders on top of the wrists. Rearrange your feet and your hands as needed. Think about pulling the front body up, broadening the shoulders. Take one more breath. Nice. And then bring your knees down to the ground, lower with control onto your belly. Give yourself a second here to just kind of get everything arranged. So shake out your tush, wiggle out your shoulders, make sure your clothes are in a comfortable position. And then with hands alongside the shoulders, elbows are going to stay soft in at the ribs. So rather than the elbows being way out, hug them in just a little bit, but not so much that you can't move. So that's the soft in at the ribs part. Once you feel like you found that, inhale, lift your heart up just a little bit. Exhale, lower down. Nice. Press into your toenails. Draw your tailbone toward your heels. Make a little space in the low back. Inhale, lift your heart up again. Exhale, lower down. One more just like that. Inhale, lift your heart. Exhale, lower down. Beautiful. Now we're going to bend the right knee. Right heel is going to come in towards the tush. If you can, reach your hand back, catch hold of that foot. If you can't catch hold of the foot, no worries. Just let the heel get heavy towards the bum, and you might feel a little bit of extra strengthening work happening in the hamstring. But if you can catch hold of the foot, hug the heel in towards your bum, heart forward, look forward, take a breath. Nice. And then gently release that foot so it lowers with control. And then we'll switch sides. So we're going to bend the left knee, hug the heel in towards your bum. So maybe you just stay here and work the hamstring, or maybe you reach the hand back, see if you can catch hold of the foot, hug it in just a little bit, heart forward, look forward, find your breath again. Beautiful. Gently release that foot. So we want to lower it with control. Bring that left hand back alongside the shoulders, elbows soft at the ribs. Inhale, lift up to a nice high cobra, just as high as you like or you feel comfortable. Awesome. Exhale, lower down. Curl the toes under, find your way up to a table or up to a plank, and then into a downward facing dog. Nice. We're going to take the right leg up into a three-legged dog, bend the knee and roll the hip open. But if you like that crooked tabletop shape better, bring your left knee down, elbow and forearm down, and you'll pick the knee up from there. But if it feels good to take it into a down dog, lift the right leg up, bend the knee, roll the hip open, maybe circle your foot in one direction, maybe circle your foot the other way. Beautiful. Release that foot down with control and we'll take it to the other side. So you can take it through a tabletop or through your down dog, but lift that left leg up, bend the knee, let the hip roll open, and then maybe circle your foot in one direction, and then maybe circle your foot the other way. Awesome. And then release that foot down with control, bend your knees, look forward, walk, step, or hop your feet up to the top of your mat. Find a rag doll here. So we're going to bend the knees a lot again, grab your elbows, and then find a big sway side to side, as if you were trying to take your elbows all the way around to the back side of your calves. You probably won't make it there, but just find that nice big side to side motion. Beautiful. Take one more sway side to side. And then as you come back to center, relax your fingers to the ground, bend your knees, pull your belly button in, come up nice and slow and controlled. Awesome. And then as you find your way up, we're going to start to bounce. So you're going to bounce your heels, get that nice little vibration sensation. So we're just popping the heels and then letting the whole body shake a little bit. Let your arms shake, let your chest and your belly shake, let your butt shake. Every muscle tissue that you can allow to soften, let it soften. So you're still going to feel a little bit of work in the front of the calves and the shins, but everything else could be soft and vibrational. And then just feel that vibration in your breath for a moment. Lovely. And then let all of that come to stillness. Let your arms just rest nice and heavy, feet firm on the ground. Take a nice deep breath in. Slow breath out. Cool. And then we're just going to soothe the kidneys and then we'll find our way down into the ground. So we're going to take light fists. We're going to take a little tap to the back of the kidneys, slide your hands down the backs of the legs, across the tops of the feet, up the inner thighs, come to the belly, give your belly a little rub. And then we'll do that again, a light little tap to the back of the kidneys, slide your hands down the backs of the legs, across the tops of the feet, up the insides of the legs to your belly. Belly gets a little rub. And then one more time, just like that, a nice little tap to the back of the kidneys, slide your hands down over the tops of the feet, up the insides of the legs to the belly, give your belly a little rub. Lovely. And then we're going to roll down into a little ball of yarn. So you can take your fingers to the ground or just roll down hands free, totally up to you. We're going to start to pick up the heels, bend the knees, roll your way down into a little ball, tuck your chin towards your chest, take a nice big breath and just feel the breath in the backside of your body. Feel the breath in between your shoulder blades. Cool. And then nice and easy, we're going to set our butt down and come into a little cobbler's pose or butterfly position. So soles of the feet together, knees out to the left and to the right. Make some space for yourself. Make sure everything feels like it's in a good position. And we're just going to catch hold of the toes. So just let your hands just kind of wrap around your toes and then close your eyes for a second and just feel the warmth of your hands wrapped around your toes. Eyes opened or closed, totally up to you, but on your next inhale, think about finding some length through the back side of the body, a little lift in the chest. And then as you exhale, keep that nice long line and lean your heart forward just as far as you like. Beautiful. One more breath. Nice. And then lift up through the crown of your head. Come up nice and slow. We're going to keep the left leg in, but the right leg is going to go out nice and wide. So our hips are forward, but our legs are angled out. And then once you feel like you found that, right hand is going to either come to the inside of the foot or reach down towards the big toe and catch hold of the big toe with your peace finger. But what we want to do is find the sensation of those bottom ribs pulling forward and the top arm reaching up. We want to find a nice big side stretch through the side of the body down to where the hip meets the side body. So extend that arm up. Think about pulling those bottom ribs forward so we get that nice rotation in the torso. Maybe turn your head and look up towards the sky. Or if you've got that big reach and flexibility, then you have a little window through your arms and you just poke your little head through. Take one more breath. Beautiful. And then lift it up with control, and we're going to take it to the other side. So you're going to switch legs. Right leg comes in, left leg goes out. Get yourself arranged, make sure everything feels good. And then think again about pulling those bottom ribs forward. So you're either going to wedge against the inside of the leg or find the big toe, whichever grab feels like the best way to go. And then extend that top arm up. Bottom ribs are still pulling forward. Look up towards the sky, hopefully finding that nice big sensation through the side of the body down towards the hip. Beautiful, nice and easy. Lift it all on up and in. And then we're going to lower ourselves down onto the ground. So swing those legs in, curl your tailbone under, roll gently down onto the ground. And then once you found your way down, just give a second. Snuggle the shoulders in, let your tailbone feel good and solid on the ground. We're coming back to our figure four shape. So take that right leg across the left. And this time we're going to pause for a second just to assess, make sure that feels good and comfortable. And we're going to keep a light flex in that right foot. If all is feeling good, lift the left leg up, reaching through. Maybe you catch hold of the back of the thigh or the top of the shin, and then gently start to bring everything in just to the point where you feel sensation. So you might feel sensation in the outside of that right hip or anywhere else that you feel sensation. Pause for a moment to assess and then see where can you soften with your breath. Can you soften your shoulders down? Can you make a little space in your center so you can draw the legs in a little closer? Take one more breath. Now we're going to keep with that figure four shape, but can you release your arms? Take your right peace fingers. Can you grab hold of your right big toe? And then as you release your left leg down to the ground, can you extend your right leg up towards the sky? So now maybe you might find a big sensation in the back of your leg. Soften the knee as much as you need to. Take a nice deep breath in. Slow breath out. Beautiful. Gently release your hold from that toe, bend that knee, set it down with control. And we're going to set ourselves up to our figure four to the other side. So left leg is going to come across the right. We're going to keep a little bit of a flex in that left foot. And then if all is feeling good, lift on up, reaching through, maybe catching the back of the thigh or the top of the shin. Making some space first. So make sure everything feels like it's in a good position. Soften the shoulders, make room for the belly, and then come back to your breath. Nice deep breath in and softening with the exhale. Awesome. When you're ready, nice and easy, we're going to release our grab from the back of the thigh or the shin. Can you take your left peace fingers, catch hold of that left big toe? As you release your right leg down, can you send your left heel up towards the ceiling? Keep a micro bend in that knee. We only want to feel sensation. We don't want to injure ourselves. So make sure you stay safe in your body. One more breath. And then we'll slowly release our grab from that big toe, float that foot down to the ground, moving right into a supine twist. So pull the right knee into the chest, extend your left leg long, and take it over to the left. So we're going to draw that right knee over and across the body. Right arm opens out nice and wide. And then if it feels good, turn your head in the opposite direction of your knee. Beautiful. Nice and easy. Pull that right knee back into the chest. We're going to hold on to the right knee. See if you can reach out and catch hold of that right heel. So we're going to turn the knee out slightly and rock the leg a little bit side to side, just moving through the hip one last time. Cool. And then release your grab from that foot. Pull the left knee in Extend the right leg long, supine twist to the other side. So we're going to take that left knee over and across the body. Left arm opens out nice and wide, and then maybe you turn your head to the left or in the opposite direction of your knee and take a couple nice big breaths here. Nice. And then when you're ready, pull that knee back in. We're going to see if we can hold onto the knee, hold onto the heel, rock that leg a little bit side to side. Nice. And then when you're ready, hold on to that left knee, but release your foot. Pull the right knee into meet. So both knees into the chest, a little hug, a little squeeze, and then think legs up the wall. So we're going to send the legs up towards the ceiling. Allow for a gentle bend in the knees. Give a second to let your arms find a nice comfortable position. So snuggle your shoulders in. Let your arms either be in anatomical position or maybe palms facing down, or let the hands rest on the belly. Really, whatever feels the best to you here. And then once you feel like your shoulders are happy, your hips are heavy, belly is soft, we're just going to gently point and flex the feet. So just pulling the toes in towards the chest and then pushing the toes away up towards the ceiling. As you point and flex your feet, can you notice the movement of the muscle tissue in the calves and the shins? Can you feel a little gentle movement in the backs of the thighs? Can you feel a little bit of gentle sensation in the tops of the thighs around the knees? Great. And then let your feet come to stillness. We're going to reach our hands up, grab hold of that right thigh, and then we're going to start to twist and turn that right thigh like we're wringing out a dish rag. So we're going to wring down to where the hip meets the butt, and then we're going to wring up to where the thigh meets the knee. And we're just going to twist and turn a couple of times, go up and down just to loosen up that connective tissue. So we want to have a firm enough grab that the clothing moves a little bit, the skin moves underneath, and you feel that little gentle movement of the connective tissue, and then maybe your muscle is soft, so it moves a little bit with you as well. Nice. Take one more up and down there, and then switch over to the other leg. Grab hold of that left thigh and start to wring it up, twisting and turning, coming down to where the hip meets the butt, and then back up to where the thigh meets the knee. And take a couple twists and turns. And again, you want to feel some movement of the clothes, some movement of the skin, a little bit of movement of the muscle tissue, but we want to feel that little bit of movement of the connective tissue if you can find that sensation. Beautiful. Take one more twist and turn up and down, and then slowly, gently, mindfully release your hands into a comfortable position. Slowly, gently, mindfully float your feet down to the ground. Pause for a second once your feet touch the ground. Notice how your legs feel. Nice. And then ask yourself, where would be your best Shavasana? Would it feel good to come into constructive rest where we started with the knees collapsed in towards each other? Or would it feel good now to extend the legs long or come into a reclined cobbler's pose? So any position here that would let you get nice and comfortable and find a little bit of stillness, whatever that means to you. And once you feel like you've got your body settling in, finding a nice, comfortable, and neutral position, take a moment to just become aware again of the floor beneath you. Nice and solid, coming up to meet and support you. And then notice that opposition or that feeling of freedom through the front of the body. And maybe even notice the cool air on your skin. And then can you invite a little softness in? Softness in the outer edges of your skin. A softness in the muscle tissue. Allow for a little heaviness in your bones and just let everything get nice and sinking and solid down into the ground. You always have the option to stay in your Shavasana as long as your body needs you to. But if you feel called to do so, start to bring your awareness back into your physical body. Maybe gently wiggle the fingers and wiggle the toes. Invite some gentle movement into the wrists and into the ankles and anywhere else your body might like. And then if it feels really good to take a good morning stretch, stretch your arms up and overhead, stretch your legs long, take a nice big breath back into your body, just fill up with air. And then on your exhale, just allow everything to soften a little bit. Nice. And then when you're ready, in your own way, in your own time, find your way up to a comfortable seated position. So you might rock and roll up, you might roll to one side, whatever feels good. Take your time. Beautiful. And then as you find your way up, just take a second to settle into your sits bones. Find a nice tall, lifted up feeling of lifting up through the crown of your head, and then shoulders are just going to soften down. Now we're going to take I'm going to mirror you. So you're going to take your right hand over to the left side. Think about side ribs, side belly, and we're just going to give a little gentle pull. So we're going to let our hand rest firmly there and then pull slightly over to the right, just so you feel a little bit of hugging and sensation. And then just find a gentle rotation here so that we keep pulling that elbow out, but just a little bit of movement. So you feel that connective tissue moving underneath your hands and the ribs moving behind all of that. Cool. Take one more little twisty turn there, and then we're going to come back to center and switch. So the other hand is going to reach across. We're just going to plant that hand against the ribs and the tissue in the front of that belly, and then a little bit of twisting and turning, just so you can feel that connective tissue, the skin moving, and the ribs moving underneath all of that. Beautiful. And then bring it back to center, soften the shoulders down. And then with light piano fingers, we're just going to give a nice light tap to the front of the chest. And then just right down to the collarbone, and then, or I should say up to the collarbones and down to the breastbone. So just a little tapping up and down. And then if you like tuning into that sensation, close your eyes down so you can listen in and feel that tapping, feel that vibration in your skin, in your bones, in your breath, in your lungs. Beautiful. One more tap up and down. Nice. And then bring your hands to heart center in Anjali Mudra and bow your head to your heart. Breathing in love and gratitude for yourself, for your mind, for your body, and for all of your hard work. Breathe in some extra love and gratitude for your friends, for your family, for your pets. Exhale, soften your jaw, and then your next inhale, breathe in a whole bunch of love and gratitude for the people that it is hardest to find that love and gratitude for. Gently lift up through the top of your head, gently open your eyes. I bow to you. Happy Tuesday.